Hey, it's Ryan with QLZ, and most likely the final interview here of 2023. And we're doing kind of things in the reverse order, as I told you, Brian and Herman and Doug. Uh, the artist spotlight's a feature that we had you guys on, Alive and Stone, with your new song "She's the Blade," and now we're interviewing you after this. It's kind of the opposite, but it's good to chat with you guys, man. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Couldn't be happier. Great weather here in Florida.
I would imagine it was about 15. I took the dog out this morning. It was about 15 degrees. So here in Illinois. So.
Oh, yeah, it's a cool like 50.
That's not bad. We're supposed to be back in the 50s tomorrow. Like, I moved here from Wisconsin, so we've only had, I feel like, maybe like 2 or 3 Wisconsin like days in December. So for me, it's not bad. I know other people here are kind of freezing their asses off, but I've been good. But man, you guys are staying nice and toasty down there. Like I said, man, we had you guys on the Artist Spotlight last week with song "She's the Blade," and it's funny because people ask me how like interviews usually go, and do you ever talk to the bands before you get rolling? I said, yeah, sometimes you kind of realize you're bullshitting, and then you realize you've said a lot of things that would be cool to talk about in the interview. We've been talking about Mike Protich a little bit because, again, I'm an Ohio guy. He's an Ohio guy. And you've actually had the chance to work with him. And it's some of the songs that are coming out from you guys, correct? That he's helped you guys write?
No, these ones he didn't get to participate in. This was in the early Ivan Stone. This was there's a song called Enough that we worked on. Fat Boy we worked on. There was another called Rebecca, and those were kind of the ones that really, like, he was, really troubleshooting my dynamics. Like, I would start everything on the same route, like the same tonic for everything. And he's like, you're going to desensitize your listeners because they can't hear the transitions. And then we troubleshot that. And he was making me understand flow and callbacks. And he really, I kind of say it like, I guess flippant. I don't even know if that's the word, but like, he pretty much taught me how to songwrite, like he helped me immensely. And really, it was kind of cool to see someone that, is such a hero of yours help you out. And it was just a time that, he was just very open to helping us out. So it was in the early stages of Alive and Stone. So the first 9 songs, the first 7 songs I had to start on my own before I found these guys. So the era that we're in now is a different era for sure. It's more of a foundation of what our sound is.
Awesome, because I know looking you guys up, it was like 2022 when you guys started, right?
Yeah, so 2022, in May 3rd, we dropped our first song called Blood Moon Rising, and the band, I started pretty much forming the group and looking for the first person I found was Matt, and then I found Herman and then Doug, and then but yeah, we started in 2002. And we've been here for about a year and a half out in the airwaves.
I know, and it's the interesting time of music. Obviously, we want to chat about "She's the Blade" is the song that we featured, but like, you're talking about, you have all these songs already, and looking you guys up, "She's the Blade" is out. I know you guys have way more coming next year as well, which we want to chat about what you guys are doing next year. But like, it's an interesting time for music. Does it feel like you guys have just been creating music for like a year and a half nonstop? It's kind of the weird world where, like, do you do an album? Do you do an EP? Do you do singles? Does it just feel like you guys have just done nothing but churn out music for like a year and a half?
Yeah, that's pretty much the game. I mean, we're going in to finish the 9th and 10th song for this album cycle. So we do everything ahead just so that we can keep listeners, chomping. That's kind of the goal. We do kind of group everything at the end for an EP, like the group the songs for an EP. That's something we do. But I would say, like, man, honestly, like for bands like us, and I would even say even the bigger bands, that's kind of the protocol, man. It's we live in this streaming social media world that quite against most people's thoughts. Like, I actually love it. Like, it's things that could have happened in music because you have so much contact with everybody, but so many people just maybe won't see it. Like, some people won't even know you have a new release for like 2 months. So it's like, when you have constant music coming out and you're essentially an employee of the streaming services, you're serving the streaming service by putting out regular music and allowing their robots, their algorithm, to get you higher. And just the whole process is just super ideal for what you want to do. And to release it at the end as an album, or an EP is something that I think is awesome. And I think it's something that is very beneficial for bands like us and a lot of others. That's the protocol, you know, that's kind of the way we run.
Yeah. Yeah, question for you, because I asked this to a lot of bands now that are in your situation, a lot of up and coming bands. I think like Any Given Sin had like songs for like 3 or 4 years, and they finally now released like a full length record about a month and a half ago. Do you feel like the way this is now, because obviously you guys have She's the Blade, you guys have a music video out for it as well. Do you guys feel like you're able to kind of give the attention that every single song deserves, kind of in the new way that songs are done between streaming and the singles world? Because I feel like you actually get to give as much attention as you want to each specific song.
Absolutely. So a huge part of the way that we run our streaming is we release the audio, just the audio, not the music video. And then 2 weeks after, we'll release a lyric video. And then 2 weeks later, we'll release a music video. And then 2 weeks later, we'll do like a behind the scenes video. But in between, we constantly make content that tells stories about the song and kind of, you know, engages like a bunch of things that we can release to promote the song and remind fans, hey, the song's still out, keep listening. Mm-hmm. And so to answer your question, absolutely. I think that we have, we are able to give plenty of attention to it. If a song does exceptionally well, which, you know, we're kind of, it is something that, you know, we always welcome. We may decide to promote it a little bit longer than normal and get a little bit more attention. But to be honest with you, it's, you know, you get every song is like a campaign, you know, and you're constantly on socials, you know, telling stories, telling about what influenced the song, the albums that influenced the song. What were you listening to? What are your guys' thoughts? And just keeping that going is definitely allowed us to bring a lot of attention to what we're doing. And a lot of the yeah. So
again, kind of the opposite way. I always like to ask the bands. I leave this really open to whatever the bands want to dive into about the song. If you want to share how the song started, what inspired it, what it means, or just a behind the scenes look at the song as well. But what do you want, like, you know, fans and listeners to know about She's the Blade? Again, it's kind of the opposite of what we've done. We featured the song already and we're chatting now. But again, man, what would you like people to know about this track?
Well, this track, you know, is easy as it is to say. Use your own interpretation.
Yeah.
We do try to put as much meaning behind everything as possible and try to play what we're feeling. And She's the Blade was, you know, She's the Blade is a track that is about, and the thing is She's the Blade is only gender specific relating to myself. And you know, it's a non, but to our audience and to anyone else, it's non-gender specific. You know, it's about a romantic relationship where, because a person has experienced trauma in their past, they think that entitles them to take it out on you. And I wanted to use the personification of torture. And, you know, the songs just came out really dark, you know, just from the get-go, just the way it sounded and the producer that we used. But I wanted to use the personification of torture as a metaphor for this person tearing me apart emotionally, but using a physical construct from a statutory point to kind of, you know, send the point that I wanted to send, which is that this person's picking me apart. And not only that, they kind of enjoy it. They kind of feel a release themselves from doing this to me. And I think that no matter who you are, everyone can relate to this and can relate to someone that's toxic. And that was kind of where we were going with that.
Yeah, and we shared the music video. We do a blog post on each band. We shared the video in there so people can go back and check it out as well. How much fun was it to lay on a gurney, be strapped down, and be spitting out blood, you know, multiple times throughout the
video? It was great. I didn't like the cleanup. It takes forever to clean up. It's not fun, but right. Anytime we're hustling and putting out some new content, it's always a blast. Yeah, it's great. Awesome. It was at Matt's a doctor, so it was at Matt's doctor's office. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Is Dr. Metalhead?
Yeah, Dr. Metalhead. I mean, he likes a lot. Like some, he's a huge. He was raised on Metallica, so he's a bit of a threat. Yeah, and Avenged Sevenfold, and I think that the cool thing about it, he brings a lot of that element, that progressive element. He brings to our a lot. So
That's awesome. If people haven't checked out the video again, man, we've got it shared up WQLZ.com for our spotlight feature. I know you talked about you guys going to wrap some stuff up next year, but what is, I mean, we're here, we've got 11 and a half days left in 2023. You know, what are you guys looking to do next year? What are some of your goals for next year? Like, I know you guys played some shows with Texas Hippie Coalition, but some more music. What is more music going to be out, or I guess what are you able to share for next year? What you guys are looking forward to?
Absolutely. We have a ton of music coming out. Like I said before, we're finishing up our 9th and 10th song for this album cycle. You've already heard the first one, which is She's the Blade. The next one's going to be Down in a Hole. That's coming out January 9th. So we're going to drop that. Well, here's what we got for you. We've got endless music. All right. The music, the train just keeps rolling. Endless music. Every 2 months, you can expect something from us on average. We are hoping that we can get more involved in the community, get a lot more fans to give us a push. We want to make those relationships one at a time. We hope to possibly be getting out on the road. Hopefully, we would really love to get out on some tours and start, making more fans in the communities and other places. And we would just love for the entire fan base to just get as big as we can get it. And we see ourselves hopefully, just getting on the road, I would say, is a huge one. I would say that, and just building the whole thing, man. That's where we see it. And we know it. Yeah, go ahead.
Our first show in Illinois.
Yeah. Exactly. Go fight.
There we go. Dude, if you guys get around here, get in St. Louis. St. Louis isn't very far away either. St. Louis is about an hour and 20 minutes away. Springfield, Bloomington, man, there's some good places here in the area to get some shows and whatnot. Peoria is not very far away, so we're kind of like centrally located. Which is we're a little far away from Chicago, but yeah, there's some good stuff around here. Before I let you go, I have a question for you guys. It's a question I'm going to continue to ask every single band, even going into next year. I used to do this as a blog post when I was up in Wisconsin. It was called Favorite Fives. You don't have to give me 5 unless you want to. And again, it's a world of singles and whatnot, but I still love buying a full length album. Love it. So your favorite no skip albums of all time. If you've got 5, great. If you want to give me more or less, it's up to you guys, whatever you want to dive into, but your favorite no skip albums from all time, from start to finish, those albums that you're not missing out on one track.
He's so generous. 5. That's awesome.
Seven Dust Animosity. Ghost Meliora.
What was that?
Ghost Meliora.
Ghost. Okay.
And you said 5, right?
I mean, dude, if you want to give 5, go for it. So it's funny. I asked this question to every single band. So like, I interviewed a couple of guys. Interviewed Spencer and a couple of guys in Under Oath, and then they just took over the segment for like 2 minutes and just went. So I'm like, all right, I'll just sit here.
I would have to say, I mean, there's so many albums, but I would have to say Hybrid Theory.
Okay.
I mean, I think Hybrid Theory. What else?
So many.
I mean, like Hybrid Theory. I mean, probably Break the Cycle by Stained.
Okay.
Lacuna Coil. I don't know. Man, I mean, it's just like I feel like beating on everybody. There was a band called Revis that I don't know very many people have heard of. Places for Breathing. Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite albums. Okay. And then Nina Sarah from Chevelle. I'd probably say it pretty much any music you're listening to when you're coming of age, I would say.
Yeah. New metal. I know I turned 37 a couple of months ago. So that entire new metal area, everybody mentions Linkin Park. It's always one of the first 2 records. It's always one of the first 2 every single time with them. And I'm Italian, so I have obviously a soft spot in my heart for Lacuna Coil. So it's cool getting nobody's mentioned them yet. So this is why I love asking this question, because every single time we do an interview, somebody mentions a band that hasn't been referenced yet.
Yeah. I mean, there's not very many. I mean, I would love to be a Maverick right now, but I'm going to stick to what I said.
Oh, good, dude. Brian, guys, I appreciate the time. Where can everybody follow you guys? Socials, website. Again, man, you guys are trying to grow stuff. There's a lot of music coming out next year. So where can people follow you guys on the socials, website as well, if people want to buy merch, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. So just to say off the bat, if you ever want to hear a song that's come out and you don't have a streaming service, or you're interested in merch, we place all of our music for free in exchange for your email link. If you click on it at www.aliveandstone livenstonemusic.com. And you can find a merch store there. We got some new items for you. And then any song that you want to hear that's out or has been released, that's the same thing. I'm an idiot. Just click on the link and you can get it for free. You can find us at all of the major streaming services, Deezer, Tidal. You can find us at Amazon Music, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, the whole thing. We're on YouTube. All of our stuff is on YouTube. And if you visit any of our profiles, you can kind of dive in a little bit deeper behind the storytelling and things like that. On TikTok, it's Alive and Stone. The handle is usually Alive and Stone Band. Okay. It's BND, Alive and Stone BND on Twitter, but everything else is Alive and Stone Band. So we have the same handle all the way around. You can find us pretty much anywhere. So,
Awesome.
and like I said before, the website, we have merch. And yeah, just come drop us a line and we love it, man. Thank you.
Awesome, dude. Guys, I appreciate the time. It's great meeting you.
Yeah,
Thanks
you
so
too,
much,
Ryan. Take care and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.